got some of the best private security in the settled systems.
Welcome to Paradiso. Jiro Sugiyama at your service. Do you have a security concern, or is there something else I can help you with?
Ah, yes, of course. I'm glad you came. As you can imagine, we're in a bit of a predicament. Under normal circumstances, we would not enlist outside help in this manner. But this is a matter we can't afford to worry our guests about. As such, we need to handle this discreetly. Failure on your part to do so could have severe consequences. So, before we proceed, can you swear not to discuss this with anyone else unless explicitly directed to do so? Great. I appreciate it. Not too long ago, a strange and enormous ship appeared in Parima space. It is now locked in orbit around our planet. So far, it doesn't seem to be hostile, but any attempts to communicate with it have been in vain, so we're unsure of the ship's intentions. It is. Whatever's going on, we need to approach this with care. First, see if you have more luck communicating with them. If not, you may have to try boarding. Whatever you do, it's important to remember to seek diplomacy with who or whatever's on board. As soon as you have any more information, report to Oliver Campbell. He's the CEO of Paradiso. All formal decisions will need to go through him, and he'll have your pay. Good luck.
Ship's ready. Pumping retros. Orbit achieved. Stabilizing. Done. Is now docked. Perfect. Didn't even smudge.
Stay alert. Weapons at the ready.
Remain calm. There's no reason. You're human. It's just that we weren't expecting to find life, let alone human life out here. We thought we were the only ones to leave Earth.
Imagine being cut off from humankind for that long. How terribly frightening that would be.
Perhaps we should greet our guests.
Of course. Manners. I'm Captain Diana Brackenridge. This is Security Officer Bomani Reader. And this is Dr. Mabuti da Costa, one of our elders.
A pleasure to meet you.
You've come aboard the Earth colony ship Constant. Generations ago, we set forth from the planet Earth with the mission of colonizing a new habitable world, in the spirit of our ancestors nearly a millennium ago. I see. As you may have presumed, we're in a bit of a bind.
Our ship has finally completed its near 200-year journey from Earth, only to find our new home seemingly colonized by... well, we don't know.
Communications haven't been successful, so your arrival is fortuitous. Perhaps you'd be willing to act as a middle person between ourselves and... the others.
We're not entirely sure. Our engineers believe it's possible that our technology just isn't compatible with theirs. All we hear when using them to communicate with anyone is a bunch of disturbing noise. It gave me the heebie-jeebies at first.
Oh yes, of course. Where are my manners? Now then, please follow me. There's much to discuss first. We'll speak more on the matter once we reach the bridge. Dr. DaCosta, you may return to your quarters if you wish.
Thank you, Captain.
I will follow you to the bridge, ma'am. For security purposes.
I do not believe we have need to fear our guest, but I'll allow it if you insist. Welcome to the Earth colony ship Constant. In the early 2100s, my ancestor, Rupert Brackenridge, researched a number of scientific scenarios: climate change, asteroid impact, nuclear war, global pandemic, and more. Each scenario showed the likelihood of an extinction-level event to be within 50 years. He fully believed Earth was destined to be rendered uninhabitable. We've always assumed that's what happened. So, he gathered the best and brightest he could find, built the Constant, and set a course for this planet here. We were told that it was the largest, most advanced ship ever constructed on Earth at the time. Just because you can believe entire generations have been born, lived, and died on this ship. It really goes to show that there are no limits to human ingenuity and perseverance.
Careful waving that fancy gun around. You don't need to see what it can do.
Never seen a ship like yours before. Then again, I haven't seen any ships before you arrived.
I have to say, with technology this outdated, I'm amazed this vessel is able to navigate at all. It's almost like walking through a museum.
Now that you're here, I can finally give my crew a chance at a new life. A bit frazzled, as you can imagine. People are anxious about discovering that we're not alone, and also worried about what will come to pass. While we hope we can work out a deal with the people on the surface, they seem reluctant to reach out, so there's no telling what will come of that. I do know that we can't afford to stay here in orbit forever. The ship was built to sustain us for many years with backup provisions just in case, but even that will come to an end eventually. Well, as I mentioned, we've been unsuccessful in communications with anyone up until you arrived, though not for lack of trying. But since you're asking, maybe you'd be willing to be a sort of diplomat between us and them as we attempt to resolve our situation. Does that sound agreeable to you? Ah, so they have a name. Paradiso. And it sounds promising that they sent you here to speak with us. You see, we intended to settle here, but we assumed that they intend to defend their claim given their presence here. We'd like you to go speak to them on our behalf and help us negotiate a solution, preferably one that favors us. Yes, of course. But we need to start from a firm position and state our goal. If need be, we can compromise, work out a mutually beneficial deal or some such, but initially I'd like you to be firm with them and convince them to leave the planet to us. Let me know how they respond, and we'll go from there. We thought about it, but it simply won't do. I need to think about the distant future of our people. Sure, our first settlement may be small, but our predecessors dreamt of our new civilization spreading across the globe. That will be difficult if someone else plans to do the same. While we're not completely close to the idea of sharing, it's much easier if we have complete domain over this world. I'm serious. We have a rightful claim to this land, and I intend to fight for it. But as you're currently our only hope, perhaps you'll honor my request and give it your all, for the sake of some very weary travelers who have come a very long way to be here. Thank you.
If something's on your mind, you can tell me. Ah, I miss talking to you already.
We were never trained to address threats coming from outside.
Just stay out of trouble.
Now that we know what's out there,
I wonder what else is out there.
Sure is nice to know there are other people out there.
I've lived my entire life in the Constant. I'm not sure how else to live.
Yeah, I know. But aren't you worried about running out of food? Boy, am I glad you weren't some sort of alien or something. I just don't think it's fair to the rest of us. I work hard too.
Wow, I've heard about you, but...
The Constant is a peaceful ship. Don't change that.
Off right away, or do you need a little bit of time?
Ship's detached. We're clear.
Ranger. Something to report?
I know your type. Free will.
Howdy.
okay. Hello.
Excuse me, you can't just waltz in there. Do you have an appointment? Oh, you're the one they're waiting for then. Do you need anything else from me before you meet with the board? People were a little freaked out around here, understandably. It looks so different and it's so massive. We honestly thought we were under attack by an unknown entity. But then, nothing happened. It just stayed there. No one could communicate with it. And we've been very careful not to alert the resort guests. The board believed it would be bad for business. Sure. Have fun in the shark tank. And don't worry, even they call it that.
I just feel that we should be focusing on the natural beauty of this planet, not our amenities.
There are millions of planets out there. People can go to any one of them. The resort facilities are precisely what we bring to the table. Heck, it's the only thing we've really got to offer.
I don't want to risk us coming off as just another artificial, shady, trash-filled dump like Neon. That's not who we are. We've got something special here. We should embrace that.
Balaam's right.
Thank you.
We don't want to compete with Neon. Bayou's ruthless. He'll do anything he can to eliminate the competition. We don't need that kind of trouble. That being said, I think there's a middle ground. Maybe build up the beachfront in a boardwalk amusement park. I've had this idea to build artificial hot springs, that sort of thing. You're lucky I'm not like the other board members, lazing about the beaches without a care in the universe.
Here, we should embrace
I am. And you must be the diplomat Jiro told me about.
Welcome, welcome. Normally I'd offer you an all-inclusive stay at our resort before we spoke. But given the circumstances, I'm gonna cut to the chase. We've got our friends, the aliens, up there, causing all sorts of problems for our resort. You like that? The marketing team came up with it. The thought is, if we can't get rid of them, it might actually attract more tourism. Come see the aliens! We're being direct then. Good on you. So, what do you know about this dodgy ship I'm hearing all about? Well, that's something. Shame we can't just tell them kindly to bugger off. Something tells me that's not going to work.
We could offer to resettle them here. There's more than enough space.
They could stay here, temporarily, but it'll cost them. Quite a bit, too. They'd need to work off all their debts before being allowed to leave.
Maybe not. What if we help them get out of here? Outfit their ship with a grav drive so they can find a new home. We could even lend our engineers to help and give their captain an updated star map. What do you think?
Sounds costly. We can't absorb that cost, and it's unlikely they even have compatible currency, let alone enough for the transaction. Someone else would have to foot the bill.
Oh, I swear this would be a lot easier if they ceased to exist entirely. Anyway, Seema's got the right idea. Either works for me. Just tell me what you want to do. We own this planet, they don't. Here at Paradiso, we don't like leaving things to chance. Who knows what these people will do with their land? Imagine the landscaping disasters they might come up with, and how that might mar the satellite imagery of the planet in our brochures. No, much better to assimilate them into our culture if they come here to live, rather than leave it to chance. Well, absurd or not, that's our official stance. I make the decisions that are best for our entire group. You don't. It's not our responsibility to bear the brunt of that cost. We're being more than generous by offering the use of our engineering team to help install it. A custom grav drive can't come cheap, and I assume they have neither the monetary means nor the connections to get a hold of that kind of technology. That leaves the only other party in this negotiation. You. And which proposal will you be taking to the good captain? I assume there's a captain? They'd be hard-pressed to defend their claim in any courts. Our charter goes back years. It was registered with both the UC and Freestar Collective, per the Centaurus Proclamation. We may be outside the settled systems, but that charter as official as can be.
I'm sorry, but you're going to need to be the one to break the news to them that they need to make a compromise or leave.
Ah, good on you. You want to see a man named Bennu St. James over at Hopetech. He's the best in the business. If anyone can retrofit a 200-year-old ship with a modern grav drive, it'd be him. We'll coordinate our engineering team with his when you return, though you may have to help the Constant engineers prepare for it on their end. Good luck!
I know this was a difficult decision, but if it's any consolation, I think you've made the right choice. Compared to the destruction of their vessel and relegating them to a life of servitude, I'd say this is the best chance they've got.
Right. On behalf of the Paradiso group, we appreciate your help.
Blom's right.
Thank you.
We don't want to compete with Neon.
We've got some of the best private security in the settled systems.
I'm just glad I don't work on the luxury cruisers that bring people here.
I don't want to hear any complaints. Excuse me.
Light him up!
Keep an eye on your valuables. If you can't protect your own, you don't belong here.
Oh, no. Oh, hello. I'm not used to people wanting to talk to me. Sure, that sounds like me. What can I do for you? I'm a little busy, but I think I could spare some time. Oh, you should have just said that. Of course I can help you. Oliver sent a courier ahead of you. I did some research on ships from that era, and I have a decent idea what we're dealing with. So grav drives didn't really take off until after the ship was built. But I've got access to an ancient grav drive that looks like it could be compatible. With some minor adjustments. It's in good shape, too. Parts not cheap, though. Neither is the labor. Just pay the combined cost of parts and labor, and it's yours. It's a pretty big ask, given how rare these old grav drives are. True. I keep telling myself I'm holding on to it for the right time. Perhaps this is that right time. I'm not sure about karma, but you're not wrong. It would be generous, and they'd likely show their gratitude in some beneficial way. Tell you what, sounds like this is for a good cause. While I can't give you the pod for free, I won't charge you for the work. Sorry to hear, but this is an expensive piece of equipment. They don't make them like this anymore. I'll still be here if you scrounge up the change.
Hey.
6.5 hours later.
You're darn right it is. I'll get to work on it right away. I recommend you go back to the ship and ask the captain to prepare for its retrofit. Standard stuff. I'm sure they have an engineer on board to help. We'll send the part along when it's ready and install it with the help of Oliver's people. Pleasure working with you.
Keep an eye on your valuables.
Cycle the airlock and move.
The Constant is a peaceful ship. Don't change it.
Just stay out of trouble.
Keeping a 200-year-old ship running is no easy task. I was hoping to talk to our visitor from outer space, and here you are! Welcome, welcome! I have a million burning questions, but I won't overwhelm you. There will be plenty of time for that later. Please, indulge me just a couple. How did you do it? Did humanity finally discover faster-than-light travel and eclipse our poor old ship? I knew it. It's incredible! I read about this technology in our archives from Earth, but it was only theoretical back then. Amazing! I'll have to learn more. Oh, I've got so many questions, but I'm being rude. I haven't even given you my name. Chief Engineer Kazemi, but you can call me Amin. And, I might add, I'm one of the reasons we're still floating out here today. Yes, of course. Anything for my new friend. What grab drive? Just joking with you. The Paradiso engineers filled me in. Okay, let's see what we need to do. All right. This will be fun. And hopefully there will be no explosions in the process. I have just received word that the drive is here. Ready to get to work? Great, great, great! There are 3 preparations I need you to help me make while I set things up on my end. First thing I need you to do is reroute the power from the port turbo pump to the auxiliary cryogenic radiator. Then, turn the plasma runoff inhibitor function to 5%. Last, you'll need to decouple the magnetic flange pipe enclosures from the auxiliary module assembly. Got it? Let's hop to it! If the other colonists knew how many times the Constant almost came apart at the seams. Whew. Thank you.
Did you hear? Someone finally made contact. I think we're getting out of here soon.
Boy, am I glad you brought some sort of aid.
Thanks.
I think that's the
Looks
video.
like everything is good to go, both your end and mine. Can you go inform the captain while they're finishing the installation?
Hey. Careful waving that fancy gun around. We don't need to see what it can do. We were never trained to address threats coming from outside our ship. Never seen a ship like yours before. Then again, I haven't seen any.
Now that we know what's out there, things are going to be more interesting from here on out.
We didn't believe anyone would be out here. No matter the outcome, I won't let my crew down. Well, well, it would appear we have the means to go nearly anywhere now, thanks to you. The engineers even upgraded our communications equipment so we can speak with passing ships. Turns out it was a pretty easy fix. Thank you again for all you've done. Without you, we'd most likely be stuck. But you went above and beyond. I'll make sure people tell tales of your generosity for as long as our society lives. I don't know if we can ever fully repay you. Thank you again. Anything to report?
Everything's quiet for now, but I'll let you know if I see anything.
All right, UA.
Any troubles you need? I'd be happy to carry a few things for you. Maybe if you're lucky, we'll talk again later.
Just because our equipment's old, doesn't mean it won't work to take down troublemakers. You're lucky we're under orders not to escort you right off this ship.
We're so close to finding our new home. Hopefully it won't be too much longer now.
I'm worried about Janet.
Janet.
I wonder if
someone
from
from the outside can help her.
All these new products. I don't even know what half of them are.
I've lived my entire life in the Constant. I'm not sure how else to.
And to think, all this time we thought you were alone.
Oh, I've heard about you. The visitor who helped us get into the situation we're now in, roaming the galaxy with no end in sight. Sorry, I don't mean to be ungrateful or rude. I'm just frustrated. Is it that obvious? Brackenridge is intent on finding a home just as perfect as Paradiso, and it's clear that's never going to happen. I'd love to leave. But outside of you and the occasional passing trade ships we make contact with, there aren't any ways off this ship. And besides, Brackenridge forbids it. I've tried. She insists we stay together for the sake of the community. I'm stuck here. It's a long shot. You've dealt with her. You know she can be stubborn. But then again, you did make her see reason before and set us on this path. Maybe you can do it again and fix this mess. Sorry, I know it may not sound like it, but I'd actually be really grateful to you if you succeed.
The captain just needs an outside perspective. I'm confident we can get her to see reason here and convince her to let you leave.
Sure is nice to know there are other people out there.
We've got strict rules around here. They're strict for... reason.
Mean in here again.
Now that we know there are other people out there, we need to be more prepared for trouble.
Never seen a ship like yours before.
We were never trained to trust threats. We got strict rules around here.
That planet was not right for us anyway. No doubt the next one will be. I'm well aware of Janet's desire to leave. I'll tell you the same thing I told her. For the sake of our mission and community, we need to stay together. Each member of our community is valuable, especially Janet. If she left, we'd be at least a couple of weeks behind in food production while we trained someone to fill her role. But I suppose if you brought us more food staples to tide us over while that happens, we could do it. Say, A large quantity of potatoes? I'll be the judge of that. I suppose not. It would be bad for all of us if she slipped into depression. Well, you've got away with words, I'll give you that. Once again, you've convinced me to do the right thing. And while I'm not happy about letting one of our own go, I think you're right. It's for the best. Let her know she's free to leave on the next ship willing to take her. I just hope this doesn't prompt others to want to leave as well.
You've made a wise choice, Captain.
Be careful. Some of the crew are not happy.
The Constant is a peaceful ship. Don't
Wow. I've heard about you, but
Good luck, I guess.
here you are.
But I'm not holding my breath. Wait, for real? How? I thought I was going to have to escape on my own somehow, but if she's given me her blessing, that's even better. If I'm being honest, I should have known you can do it. After all, you're the reason we're still out here. I heard about what you did for us, getting that grav drive or whatever. I was kind of hoping you'd overhear me and offer to help earlier. I probably should have just asked you, but I guess I'm not good at asking for help. Anyway, thanks for helping me. I know you didn't need to. Julia? Oh, she'll be fine. She loves this stupid ship. I've tried talking her into coming with me, but she won't budge. Like almost everyone else, she believes in the original mission. Whatever. I'm sure I'll hear news of the Constant's whereabouts. Maybe I'll even come back to visit. She's my sister, after all. No idea. One of the techs who helped retrofit the grav drive onto the Constant mentioned a place called New Atlantis. Maybe I'll check it out. It sounded interesting. Anyway, seems like a good place to start, especially if I want to find a job that isn't farming. Thanks again. I'm going to need it. It's a whole new world out there. I hope we meet again someday.
You're lucky we're under orders not to escort you right off this ship.
Did I warm up the engines?
Locks, air pressure, drive, all good to go, Captain.
I'm pleased to report that our stocks are currently being maintained at 90% or higher. I'm sure we have anything you might need. Welcome to UC Distribution. Something I can do for you? I hope we have what you need.
Want to challenge your instincts and hone those corporate skills? Ryujin is hiring the best and brightest of today for our future tomorrow. Submit your application.
Well, all of our items are guaranteed to be of the highest quality. Oh yes, absolutely.
New Homestead is a living history exhibit. These are real people. So please be kind to them.
Don't stay outside for too long here on Titan. You'll freeze solid without the proper protection. Feel free to look around, but don't touch.
I'm always looking to trade for off-world goods. Well, hello there, and welcome to my little shop. Are you visiting New Homestead for the first time? Oh, nice. You know, it's always such a pleasure to meet people from other worlds. Or just space. I don't judge. I'm Jay. I'm happy to help you find what you're looking to buy or take a look at whatever you want to sell. Trades of all kinds are welcome here. Or if you have any questions for me about the shop, the merchandise, or even just New Homestead in general, I'm happy to help you. Sure thing. I'm also interested in buying if you have anything for sale.